Hey, surprise everybody. It's Tuesday morning and
Afternoon.
it's lunchtime. It's the lunchtime blue plate special
Lunchtime crew. Yeah,
podcast. That's right.
we are
So
here.
the listener questions. We're getting ahead
We are.
because Rikki's got to take Brian to the airport next Monday.
She does. She's a pain in the butt. She's got to take him to the airport.
So we are getting ahead or giving you a surprise show on a Tuesday lunch. You can Grubhub me Taco Bell or no. I just had breakfast actually. So good. What did you have? What are you having for lunch?
I don't know. I think I have some leftover like chicken wings I made a couple days ago. So maybe I'll eat my leftover chicken wings. So
You know that Chick-fil-A is 0.7 miles from our house because like
awesome.
the girls are there and I look on Find My Friends, it says 0.7 miles because they're there like every day.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really good.
That one at Mid-Rivers Mall.
Yeah.
Yay! There's Megan. There's yeah. See, we got James J. All mixed.
I know we're confusing people.
I didn't get to have Spencer's all confused. We didn't get to have dinner with James J. Williams, which I wish I could have gone down.
I know, right?
Yeah.
If it was on Saturday, I would have been in.
Amy's at Podcast Movement. I almost went to that, and then I found out this morning when I was listening to Leo Laporte's Tech Guy show, he's actually there. I would have totally gone if I'd have known Leo was going to be there because I've always wanted to meet Leo.
Aw.
So yeah, Amy, meet Leo Laporte and tell him Mike Rallman. He has inspired me. I do a lot of my shows in his style.
That's awesome.
Taco Bell is 1.2 miles.
Oh, so it's a little bit further.
Yeah, to the side. It's there, but between the Chick-fil-A, there's a Jack in the Box and an Arby's.
Gotcha.
And a Lion's Choice.
Oh, you're killing me with the Lion's Choice. You're killing me.
And a Krispy Kreme. And a Freddy's.
Jeez.
Dude, there's everything by our house. It's ridiculous.
We are finally getting something up by me. We're getting a Culver's, which is awesome.
Yes, Amy Leo is there, Mr. Laporte. Actually, today he said he's going to Epcot. So if you're at Epcot, but I know he's got a Podcast Movement. He went down he was there yesterday, I know for sure. But he said on Tuesday he was going to Epcot. So he may be cruising around Epcot.
Awesome.
So look for him. And yeah, if you do, tell him Mike Rome said, hey, I love that guy. I know he's an old guy. He reminds me of my dad, but he's awesome. He knows how to do podcasting. What's up, Jay Griffith? It's been forever. Jay.
It is. I know. I miss Mr. Ye.
I know. He's not in the sky. All right, let's
I
should be working. So if Emma's watching, she'll be like, get back to work.
I'm on lunch.
You too.
I'm on lunch.
Yeah, I saw Melissa was down in Texas and she didn't even get those tacos. You know what? Burger King apparently has Jack in the Box style tacos right now.
Really?
Commercials for them. They look just like Jack in the Box tacos.
Interesting.
You like Jack in the Box tacos?
I think they're okay. They're not like my favorite, but
so good. But I just can't, man. Once I start eating them, I can't stop.
Well, that's kind of the point.
So I don't get them because when I get them, I get 6 at a time.
Well, that's a lot of tacos.
That's a half dozen.
All right.
So, Amy, make sure you say hey to Leo if you see him Epcot or at. God, I was so close to going to Podcast Movement. It's in Orlando. I should have gone. I was so close. Spencer says
Amy wants to know what my favorite lunch is, and right now it is. So Panera has a salad. It is a strawberry caprese salad. It is so good. The only problem is half the time they run out of the ingredients for said salad, so it's not the same without all of the ingredients. So it makes me sad. But
I've been eating salads out of the bag from Beerberg's. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Salad.
Yes.
Deal lovers.
Yes. But the strawberry caprese salad is phenomenal. It's just half the time they don't have like the strawberries, which defeats the purpose of a strawberry caprese salad. So
from Bread Company?
Yeah, from Bread Co. Yeah.
I've been seeing commercials like constantly about how they're putting strawberries on everything. And
yeah. That's the salad that they're putting them on. And like half the time they don't have strawberries. And I'm like, well, you shouldn't be advertising a salad that you don't have the ingredients for.
I see a commercial every 30 minutes.
Yeah.
On MLB Network. So yeah, they should have it. Okay. Let's get to work. So
yes.
1627. This isn't for tomorrow. This is for a week from tomorrow, guys.
Yes.
Welcome to episode 1527 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. We hope that you are doing well, working through that week. I know it's hot. It's probably humid where you are, unless you're a smart person and live where there's low humidity, which The two of us that are podcasting today definitely do not.
Nope.
We fight we swim through the air this time of year. But you know what? We'll be complaining about it being too cold here, probably in a few months, and we'll wish we had this back. So
yes,
let's have some fun. So today we're together to answer your listener questions as we do every Wednesday. And joining me today, we have Rikki from DisneyWorldAfterAll.com, touringplans.com, and the Mouse for Less. What's going on, Rikki?
Just back from Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which I will be sharing all about probably on Friday. So yay.
Hope the Fourth was with you.
Yes, it was. Sure.
We'll hear about it on Friday's show. All right, let's get to some listener questions. We have a great group joining us as we record over lunch on Facebook. We appreciate you dropping in and joining us live on a spur of the moment show. If you have questions, you can put those in the comments. First to the inbox, Brian's got a question. He says, "Hi, I'm not usually able to call in for listener question shows, hoping I can submit a question over email." Well, you did, and here we go.
Yes.
I'm running my first Run Disney event in 2020, a goofy marathon weekend. Curious what your thoughts are on the recent announcement that Rudy won't be returning as a Run Disney announcer. Also, whether you think Run Disney will ever bring races back to Disneyland. Thanks for your thoughts. Brian is an avid Disney cruiser, bi-coastal AP holder and a DVC member from Seattle, Washington, 2,539 miles from Walt Disney World and 1,169 miles from Disneyland. All right, so Brian totally invested here. But first Run Disney event, you're going to have a great time. I'll see you out there on Saturday and Sunday, so look for me. We're going to have a good time with all the lizards. I can't wait. I love Marathon Weekend. So real quick, my thoughts. A couple weeks ago, it was announced that Rudy will not be returning as an announcer for Run Disney. I like Rudy. I like Pelkey. I like Carissa. I like all the announcers because for those folks that have been running the races, God, I've been running the races almost a decade now. I can't believe that. Like,
that's crazy. Yeah.
I started taking them more serious about 5 years ago, but I've been doing them for probably 10 years. And the thing is the announcers, the consistency of the announcers for Run Disney events are truly kind of like old friends up there. You hear some of the same jokes, getting ready because you stand there forever. You're freezing at Marathon Weekend, usually one of the races, if not more of them. And, they feel like they're sharing the cold with you, the anticipation of the races with you, and they're getting you amped up, but they're also getting you prepared for the experience you're getting ready to have. So John, Pelkey, you had Rudy and Carissa and they've brought in other folks throughout the years. They're old friends, and they truly are. But I think, just like Walt Disney World, just like the Disney company, things are going to change. I don't know. Rudy may have gotten a better opportunity. There's lots of other Run series out there. He's one of the premier announcers. He could be doing like rock and roll. Those races are all over the country. It could have just run his course for him. There's, people come into running and people drop out of running. It's just one of those things that you don't do forever. I don't know. I think it'll change, but I'm a huge fan of Pelkey. I think he's kind of sarcastic, and I like that. And I like the positive energy Carissa brings and the other racers, the announcers that have been out there on the course with us. I don't know. I think it'll be fine. So Rikki, what are your thoughts when changes like this happen with old friends that are announcers?
Yeah, I know it's definitely hard to, not be able to hear some of your favorite people and experience, their style and everything like that. And it definitely makes it more difficult, especially when it's somebody that you look forward to seeing time and time again. But, unfortunately, change does happen. It happens every day. And it's just something that, as difficult as it is, sometimes it's just something you've got to deal with. And there'll still be Run Disney races. There's still, it'll still be a fun atmosphere. It'll still be a great time. It just won't feature Rudy anymore. So
should I give a shout out to Rudy?
Yeah.
There we go. Runner set, go. That was Rudy. He did it 38 times because somebody crossed my day.
Yes, exactly.
He probably wore himself out with that. Quickly, my thoughts on the races returning to Disneyland. Here's the thing with Run Disney, and it's not good or bad. It's what it is right now. My opinion, Run Disney has definitely peaked.
Yeah.
And it was crazy 5 years ago, 6-7 years ago. It was nuts. Like, I literally almost had to take off school to sign up for a race just to get in. That was crazy. Even when I didn't take off school, I sent this is terrible. This is the terrible teacher in me. I sent my kids next door to the teacher next door and said, just give me like 30 minutes and like do an activity with them. I'll take your kids later on in the day for 30 minutes. I'll do an activity with them. You can have 30 minutes off. I got to sign up for this race. Don't bug me. I have my iPad out. I have my phone out. I have my computer on at school. It was like sweat is pouring. Like the movie Airplane where he's trying to land the plane. That was me trying to sign up for Disney race. Cause like I swore, if you like had one misstep, you didn't get in.
That's
it
right.
was brutal. Now you can sign up for races. Typically, like I signed up for Princess the weekend before. You know, a lot of the races are like that. There's still lots of races open for marathon. Some of them fill up, you know, quicker, like 10Ks usually.
Yeah.
But the fever is dying down. You know, we've hit the peak and we're coming back down, which is fine with me because it was just ridiculous. If the demand returned like it was 5 or 6 years ago, we may see them at Disneyland, but I doubt it. I think it's more of a logistical nightmare out there.
Yeah.
I mean, they can do their thing at Walt Disney World and the demand's not there as it was 5 years ago, 7, 8 years ago. I don't know.
Well, I think that the logistics is definitely the bigger problem at Disneyland. I mean, they had to shut down roads and they had to, you know, go through the stadium and, you know, they had to do a lot of things to try to accomplish, 13 miles, you know, and so it makes it very difficult to do that. And I think that logistically it was just a nightmare. And so, you know, by having the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, you know, construction happening, you know, that was a good way to kind of say, okay, we're not going to do it anymore. You know, that was a good graceful way to kind of bow out of it. So I don't think that they will be having any more races at Disneyland. I think that those days are over, unfortunately. You know, I think, yeah, unless the demand just gets to be so much bigger, I don't think we're going to see races at Disneyland any longer. So
yeah, because they're getting into that gray area where they're going to have to pay volunteers because of certain rules of California, and
yes. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's like it just became. I think it's one of those things. It's too big of a headache. You know? Like,
probably. Yeah,
but we'll see. I mean, you know, I never got to run one out there. I really wanted to, but I always told myself I was going to go to Disneyland outside of a race first to experience it, and so.
Now you get to.
I know, so I get to. Yeah. All right, Sarah's got a question in the live chat. Hey, Mike and Rikki, planning for October right now. Are extra magic hours at Hollywood Studios for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge only or for the whole park?
Okay, so they are for sure for Galaxy's Edge and they are for Toy Story Land. They will also be for probably a few select attractions as well. I would assume maybe, you know, Rock and Roller Coaster or Tower of Terror or things like that. But for sure, I know it is those two lands and then anything else that they want to maybe sprinkle in, you know, that they can open. Yeah.
You got to go for the Voyage of Little Mermaid first thing in the morning.
Yeah, I don't think that that's going to be an option. Sorry. Yeah.
All right, Keisha's got a question in the live chat as well. Hey, next trip here is October 3rd. Let's see. Solo-ish adult trip to celebrate my birthday. I'm not so patiently waiting for Disney to release after-hours event info. What do you guys think will be there after-hours events in Magic Kingdom or Hollywood Studios come October? So what are your guesses for after hours coming October? Because the thing is, in October, you have lots and lots of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween parties at Magic Kingdom. So I think that's going to work against you there.
That's true. But the after hours events do happen after hours. So I think they will probably sprinkle them in at the Magic Kingdom. You know, they'll probably, because they happen after the park closes. So again, you know, this is kind of like I keep saying, repeating over and over again. It's the age-old question of when is Disney going to release the after-hours events for my dates? And unfortunately, the answer is only about 2 months or so before the actual time that you're slated to go. So what they do is they usually announce like 2 to 3 months worth of dates. And then once it gets to maybe a month or maybe 2 out before the last dates end, they will start announcing the next date. So I think they went all the way till September. So probably maybe the end of this month, definitely the beginning of September, you'll see the dates come out for the probably October and November and maybe December for Disney After Hours, as well as maybe the early morning magic as well. So yeah, it's just it's a waiting game, and I know it's unfortunate, but
they mess with us, man. They get us trained. We need 180 days. No, let's do 60.
Yeah, exactly. So I suspect for October you'll see it at the end of this month or maybe middle of next month. Yeah.
All right, let's get a question here from Jeff in the live chat. Coming down this weekend for the annual pass preview. You need to get in a run of 5 to 6 miles Saturday morning. Any good places to run around Wilderness Lodge? Yeah, there's actually a path from Wilderness Lodge to Fort Wilderness if it is open.
Yeah.
Is it open now with Reflections? I'm trying to think. Kind of in that area.
That's a good question. I don't know if it is. It might be closed because of the construction. I think I heard it was.
So, but here's the thing. You could get over to Fort Wilderness somehow. Just Uber, there's got to be a way. And the thing is, if you run around the loops at Fort Wilderness, you can get in. I mean, you're going to have to run multiple circuits, and run the loops multiple times. But I mean, good scenery. You see people riding bikes. It's very friendly. It's like running through a neighborhood.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of fun. But if that path is open from Wilderness Lodge to Fort Wilderness and back, you could do that 2 or 3 times and you'd be set. You'd be more than set. That's a great run too, especially right at sunrise. You could see a lot of like deer and stuff, and watch out for the raccoons. I was running at our new place that we have this little lake kind of behind our house.
Yeah.
2-foot snake the other day right on the path. Yeah, I thought it was roadkill when I was coming around because I got to do a bunch of laps. It's only a quarter of a mile each loop. And so I come up on it and I'm like, that wasn't their last lap. And it looked like it was off in the distance in the path. I'm like, that thing looks like roadkill. I got up to it. It was a big fat snake.
Nope. I'm out.
I'll have to put
how do I like turn it the other way? Okay, I'm going to go this way now again.
There's all kinds of bull frogs. They don't bother me, but man, this snake was pretty big. Anyway, so be careful, snakes. Right. David's got a question. Hey guys, currently doing Operation Disney Marathon to run my first marathon and Disney Marathon next year. Hopefully you'll see you there. Yes, you'll definitely see me there. I love Marathon Weekend. It's so awesome. All right, we got a would you rather question, Rikki. So get yourself ready. Ready?
Yes.
It's from Jennifer. Hey, Mike, Pam, and Rikki. Love the show. Thanks for all your continued dedication and great content. So here's my situation. All about how my life got turned. I don't know where that came from. We are going on our first Disney cruise in October, 3 nights to the Caribbean. And luckily, I have been able to finagle 2 extra nights prior to the cruise at Walt Disney World. Well done, Jennifer. We are staying at the Beach Club. We have 2-day Magic Your Way tickets. Wednesday, we're going to be at Epcot. Thursday, my plan is to go to extra magic hours at the studios to see Galaxy's Edge, hang out at the pool, go to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. It's a long day. It's 6 o'clock extra magic hours, man. Woo. I get up early and that's a long day going to the party that same day. Oof. Okay. So here's what she says. So those are the constants. Here are my would you rathers. Would you rather number 1, get ready. Book Fast Pass Plus for after Galaxy's Edge at Hollywood Studios for Slinky Dog, etc., or book Fast Pass Plus at Magic Kingdom before the Halloween party. That one's easy to me. On that one, I would definitely do the Magic Kingdom before the Halloween party. You have just way more choices and you're going to be amped up and just having a good time. That's what I would go home and just rest until, say, like 2 o'clock and go back to the Magic Kingdom, maybe 3 o'clock and do those fast passes before the party. What would you do?
Yeah, I think that's probably what I would do. I would do the fast passes before at the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. So if you're going to miss Slinky Dog, but I mean, it's just that you can't do it all.
No, that's true.
Would you rather number 2 is dining related. Disney dining plan, standard plan. Okay, so here she has Beaches and Cream, Crystal Palace, Yorkshire Country Fish Shop, Woody's Lunchbox, food and wine snacks, or getting the Disney quick service dining plan with food and wine snacks, Yorkshire County Fish Shop, Woody's Lunchbox, and Casey's Corner. See, I always think you need to have some sit down meals. That's just me, because especially in October, it's going to be busy. It'll still be kind of hot.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace is a really good value, and that's a really, really good value on the dining plan. Beaches and Cream, depending on what you get, can be a decent value. Not always, because you could use that one out of pocket, but I don't know. I like to have the sit down meal, so I would probably go with the dining plan, the standard.
Yeah. I also would suggest having some sit down meals. So I think I would do the dining plan as well. Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much. I know there is no wrong answer. Just looking for more input as I'm trying to make these decisions before my Fast Pass window opens up on Friday. Love the show. It helps so much during my runs. Thanks, Jen.
Awesome.
Okay. Morgan's got a question in the live chat. Question for Rikki. It's not for me. All right.
Nope, not for you.
I'm moving to Florida next week.
Yay!
Are my days of Fast Passes for the popular rides gone?
I got it. No, they're not. You may have some trouble occasionally, but for the most part, as long as you make if you know, like, hey, I'm gonna be in the park on this day, you know, and you can make your fast pass about 30 days in advance for some of those attractions, then yeah, you're gonna be fine. You're still gonna be able to get the fast passes for the popular attractions. But you know what I do? A lot of times day of, I'm able to just score a fast pass for popular attractions as well. Now it helps when I'm by myself or, you know, with one other or two other people. It's a little bit easier to score those fast passes, and I just play the fast pass game. So I'll make my fast pass, and then I'll just keep checking and rechecking and see if I can change the fast pass or move it up or whatever. But no, your days of getting fast passes are definitely not over. Matter of fact, just last trip that I took, I changed my plans morning of, and I was able to score a fast pass for Frozen Ever After. So, I mean, you know, it all depends. So you can still get fast passes day of even, you know, you're going to be just fine. I promise.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, she's Rikki Niblet, and there's nothing the rest of us.
That's exactly what happens. No, not really. No.
All right, next question says, haunted about the answer. It's from Matthew. Greetings, BOGP panel of knowledge.
That's what we should go by. I like it.
The POK, the BOGP POK.
I love it.
Let's see. My daughter and I are planning a trip to Disneyland, 18th of October to the 23rd of October, 2020. I'm wondering if the Haunted Mansion might have an overlay for Halloween by that time. Thank you all. Hope to see you at the Indy Disney Meet next month.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see you in Indy. All right. So, but I would say October 18th. Yeah. I mean, wouldn't there not be an overlay by then? If not, they're going to miss it.
Is it? He said Disneyland, right?
2020. Yeah, Disneyland.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think they start working on it in September, maybe. Oh, I don't remember. I know I've posted. I work on updating the refurbishment page for Disneyland for the Mouse for Less, and I can never remember. It's usually either the end of August that they start working on it or the beginning of September. But I would say definitely by October they'll have it done because they have it open for the Halloween season. So as soon as Halloween time starts at Disneyland, they'll have the Haunted Mansion holiday open. So yep, you'll be good.
Jack Skellington needs some more to live.
Yes, exactly.
Confession, I've never seen Nightmare Before Christmas all the way through. I've seen parts of it. It's so weird. Like, I think you really got to like it. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to like it, but it is just so weird looking, that animation style. It's
stop motion, so that's why it looks weird.
So weird.
But I mean, you definitely kind of have to like Nightmare Before Christmas. It's not my favorite. I've watched it full through, but it's definitely not like my favorite. I know I'm like in the minority, and I've never actually seen it in person, and I'm trying to see if I can finagle a trip to Disneyland next fall. But I really, I have two options for finagling a trip to Disneyland next year. I'm going to try to do, but if one of them is the full time potentially, and I would like to see Haunted Mansion Holiday, but like I'm also kind of one of those people who's like, I don't really love Haunted Mansion Holiday. Like when I hear it come out on Magical Mouse Radio, I'm like, oh no, not Haunted Mansion Holiday. Like it's like one of my least favorite tracks that comes on. And I know that's like, I'm like kind of the minority of that, but like I'm like, oh, not again. It's Haunted Mansion Holiday. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
All right, David's got a question. He says, with Dole Whips becoming increasingly more commonplace, for example, at Sweet Frogs, he found them at his local fair. We have them at the St. Louis Zoo, actually.
Yes,
We've had them there for years. Do you feel like it's losing its Disney magic? I used to yearn for them, but these days I find myself not wanting them.
Oh,
what do you think? I mean, because I think the thing is, like, we get all excited for these things we love. Like, God, if I could just have a Dole Whip outside of Walt Disney World. And now you can find these, now you can find, now they're not the exact same thing, but you got, like, for example, the Mickey bars and Mickey waffles at your grocery store. They're not exactly the same, but when I think it's one of those cases, is too much of something a bad thing? I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I mean, so it's hard because like I really don't like Dole Whip either. So I know I'm totally ruining everybody. I like should lose my Disney card today. But I don't love Dole Whip. So like I don't ever get it when I'm in the parks, and I definitely don't get it like when I go to Menchie's. I mean, they have it there all the time, and so I don't know if it's like losing its luster. I mean, because people still get excited about it. They still get it when they're in the parks, and there is something special. It's more about the location of where you're having it. I feel like
I wouldn't probably get one at the zoo, but I might get one at Walt Disney World on a hot day, just because like it fits the Adventureland theme. Like it feels, even the zoo kind of fits that though too.
Yeah, the zoo does, but I don't lose my mind because they're offering it at Menchie's. I'm just like, oh well, that's a nice option for people who want Dole Whip. That's fine. But I do feel like they are certainly milking it by coming out with all these different flavors now. I mean, there's strawberry, there's lime, like that part I feel like maybe is a little less special than maybe getting it at, my local ice cream shop. I don't know. That's just me. I feel like Disney might be milking it with the different flavors, but
So let me ask you this. So with those, the I call them mini Mickey bars,
Yes.
they're smaller and in the boxes at the grocery store. And plus we got Mickey waffles. I think it was the same company.
Yeah.
At the grocery store the other day. And I mean, do you think there's people that stay away from those because it's like David said, like they don't want to, if you have it all the time, like I love Taco Bell and I have it all the time, it doesn't bother me. Like it's just me. I eat the same things over and over.
Yes.
But I think some people need to save like certain things for certain occasions, where if you have a Mickey waffle once a week, when you get to Walt Disney World and you have it at Chef Mickey's, not a big deal. I mean, do you think there's people like that?
So I definitely, but then there's other snacks that you can have. So like that's kind of how I see it. Like if I eat the Mickey bar here, like, yeah, I'm losing out, and maybe won't feel so excited to eat the Mickey bar while I'm at Walt Disney World, although it definitely tastes better in Walt Disney World. Yeah. But I get to have a different snack then. Like I could choose something else that, instead of being like, oh man, I have to have a Mickey bar right now. Like I could choose something else that maybe they've introduced. So, that's kind of my thought process on it, is like I get to choose something different that maybe I wouldn't have chosen because I would have fixated on the Mickey bar. Also, just a heads up, for those of you who want the same flavor waffles, those ones that they sell in the store are not the same, and it's clear, like they definitely don't taste the same. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret though. Shh, this is just between you and I. Go to Waffle House. It is the exact same mix. I promise you.
Waffle House.
Waffle House sells the exact same waffles that they sell at Walt Disney World. They just don't look like Mickey, but they're the same. You
gotta shape them yourself. You gotta do
they're the same exact flavor, because I've seen the stuff that they use at Waffle House, and it's that golden malted, and it's the same exact one that they use at Walt Disney World. So yeah. Go to Waffle House if you're looking for your Mickey waffle flavor fixed. So.
Yeah, one more thing on this too. I've switched. Like I used to be a Mickey bar guy, like through and through, but I've switched over the last like 3 years to Mickey ice cream sandwiches. So good.
Yeah, I mean, it goes in cycles. I mean, it definitely goes in cycles. The Mickey Mouse ice cream sandwich is really, really, really good. I won't lie. Like it's delicious. I'm still a Mickey bar girl, but I do like every once in a while.
I need an ice cream sandwich.
Oh, I know. It's so hot. I can totally go for that Mickey bar that's in my freezer right now. It is lunchtime at this point. So.
I know, killing us. All right. Sorry if you're running today.
Yeah.
Watch this next email is titled "Watching the Oscars at Disney World." Hi, Mike and Rikki. My cool friends have told me in no uncertain terms that we will be watching the Oscars during our February trip to the world. They will air on a Sunday night, probably starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. I have 2 questions. First, where to watch? We're staying at Pop Century. Should we just make it an early night back at the hotel, or is there a cool lounge or restaurant we could be at instead?
Oh.
Second, does Hollywood Studios do anything fun for the Oscars? We would probably go to the park that day. Thanks for all the Disney talk that I escaped to, and I can't think about freaking politics anymore. Alexa in California. Oh Lord, mine just woke up. Sorry. She's going to say something.
Oh no. You said that.
I got to get this thing out of the studio because I use it in my office here. And it's okay. Just calm down. All right. So I love that. You know what? The studios should do something for the Oscars. I don't think they do, but my God, that's like their jam. That'd be their day.
I will say in the past, and they didn't do it this past year, but previous years, they actually have done something. They had an Oscar statue that you could go take your photo with. Again, they didn't do it last year, but I know they've done it in previous years. Now, I don't know if they'll do it this year. Usually the Oscars are on ABC, which of course is owned by Disney. Unfortunately, they don't usually air them anywhere that I can think of. I mean, they don't air them at Hollywood Studios for sure. I would say
they should put them on that big screen, especially if like on ABC. I don't know. I think they are, aren't they?
No, that would make so much sense, wouldn't it? Like
by the old American Idol theater.
Yes, That would be perfect, but maybe they can't simulcast it. I don't know. Like, but dude, that would be such a perfect spot to do that. Unfortunately, they don't. So I would say you could try a lounge, but I don't know if they're going to be able to change the channel for you, and you also may not be able to hear it. If you really have to watch the Oscars, I think your room is the only real choice that you're going to have. So, make it a huge party and decorate. Bring some decorations or ship some from Amazon and really decorate the room and get some food. I don't know. I got nothing.
Because like, say you go to like a lounge, say Tambu Lounge or something over at the Polynesian, but there's a sporting event going on. If you try to switch that sporting event over to the Oscars, you're taking a chance on your life, because I know people take their Oscars seriously, but people take their sports, and that is around. I know the Super Bowl isn't probably the same day; it's different.
That weekend, but it's. I don't.
Yeah, I don't. I would say So the room's probably your best bet. Here's a note from Shelly. She says, "Hey, BOGP crew, this came over to the Facebook page. Just wanted to share with you and your listeners a fabulous opportunity to donate to Give Kids the World. Pam, being a bird girl, may already know about this. She says, my college summers were spent working at Kennywood Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which we talked about, apparently not related to Dollywood Park, even though sounds in the stream and all that. Most of the time was spent as the manager of the Log Jammer. Sadly, Kennywood tore it down a few years ago to make way for its newest coaster, the Steel Curtain. They keep one of the original logs at the main gate for photo opportunities. They have just announced an opportunity to have your very own piece of Kennywood history. They're auctioning off a log with 100% of the proceeds going to Give Kids the World. There's a link for more information to place your bid. And she says if you win, she would gladly take the log. So we will share the link because it's very long, but that's an opportunity. So if you want to, and this is from Shelly, she is in Bogish in Nazareth, Pennsylvania, 243 miles from Kennywood.
That's what's interesting is, I was with Steven from Give Kids the World a couple of weeks ago at the time of this airing, and I heard him talking about this actually, that they were giving away they were auctioning off a log from that attraction, and so that's an actual thing that they're doing. So that's kind of cool, to be honest. If you really wanted a log, what a cool way to potentially get one.
I would love a log from our local Six Flags. Now, the problem is they still use them because that's how old the Six Flags is and the ride's still going on. But that was one of my favorite rides when I was a kid. But what would I do with that sucker when I got it home? Like, this thing's awesome. What am I going to do? Like, am I sit and watch TV in it in the living room?
You could use it as a planter. You would destroy it. I don't know what you'd use that for. Like, where are you putting it? I don't know. Look, John Stamos has a lot of stuff that's from Disneyland, and he finds places to put things. So,
You know what I heard during the Cardinals game the other day? Jim Edmonds has the center field wall from the old Busch Stadium in his house.
That's awesome.
That's fantastic. Awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah.
I was like, what? That's so cool. Anyway. All right. Next question is from Michael. Hey, BOGP crew. In 3 weeks, I'll be staying at French Quarter with my best friend who has never been to Disney. We only have 3 days to experience the parks, and I want him to have the best trip possible. Myself, being a Disney fanatic, naturally wants to spew information and history about everything I see in the parks. However, I don't want to be overbearing, and I'm worried that I'll scare him away from Disney by telling him everything Matt Parrish has taught me about on the 3028. Watch out for those roasty toasties.
Oh, I know. I love the roasty toasties. Oh my gosh.
You're good. They're not at World.
I hate that they're not at World. I wish they were. Yeah.
It's like saying roasty toasty. I was listening to them on my run, and the whole rest of the run, I'm like, roasty toasty. I know there's something wrong with me. How should I approach going with a first timer? Do I keep all the fun facts and trivia to myself? Should I keep it fast paced so that we get all the best rides, or should I slow down for a more relaxed experience? Thanks, Michael. P.S. If you see Michael from Overland Park, Kansas working at Space Mountain, make sure to say hi, as I am the honorary Space Mountain Lizard. How about that? All right, so I'm going to look for you, even though you're from Kansas. Just kidding.
Awesome.
That is awesome. So what's your strategy? besides trying to not be Matt Parrish, which is really hard to do when you're at Walt Disney World.
I definitely don't overwhelm people with facts. I slowly, maybe I'll share one or two, but I don't overwhelm people, because unless they're really into it, it's not going to do anything for them. They're not going to like retain any of it, and it's just going to be like noise coming in and going out. So, and they may end up resenting it in a weird way. So, unless they seem like really interested in the facts that you start spewing out first, like again, very slowly, don't overwhelm them. But unless they start seeming like really interested, don't hit them with like a bunch of knowledge. Like they'll have fun, they'll have a good time. They don't necessarily need to know the facts the first time, and they can learn them on the future times that you go if you bring them back again, if you end up making them love it just as much as you do. So yeah, and they probably will, but don't overwhelm them.
You just gotta kind of read the room, like if it seems like they're gonna and just like give them a fact or two early, and like if they're just totally just blowing you off, just that's it, done. Rides. That's how people do it. I mean, some people do appreciate it. So it just depends on your level of Disney nerdom. I mean, we all started somewhere. We were first timers somewhere too. So, all right, Jennifer's got the last question of the day, and it's a simple one. She's in the live chat. How about Skipper Canteen? Yay or nay?
I'm a yay. I liked Skipper Canteen. I got the char siu pork the last time I was there. It was delicious. So I'm definitely a yay for Skipper Canteen. I think it's really yummy. I didn't feel like they played with me as much, like they're supposed to be kind of that Jungle Cruise Skipper, like they're supposed to have fun. And our cast member server was not like the most fun. He kind of was just there to do a job, and that's okay, whatever. But the food I thought was delicious. So, if you end up getting the fun, then that's an extra added bonus. But, I definitely like the food that I ate.
See, to me, it's like, it's not a yay or a nay. Again, I was an elementary school teacher, so we did some pretty dorky stuff because we learned this in professional development that we had to do with the kids because, they were like 9. So you'd ask them, like, give a thumbs up if you agree, thumbs down if you don't agree, and a sideways thumb if you're kind of undecided. This one I would give the sideways thumb. I don't know because, okay, so here's what I say about Skipper Canteen. I think for a hardcore Disney fan, yes, it's definitely a yay because there's so many little intricacies in the restaurant itself that you can walk around and really see the nods to the attraction. Like you said, a cast member, a server that really gets into the role, that makes it even better. It does seem like you're eating in the mess hall for the Skipper for the Jungle Cruise. It's awesome. Like, that's awesome. For somebody that's like a first timer or a casual fan, the food, I don't think it can be good. I think one thing is that it's a little exotic, like for my family, but we're a very basic Midwestern family. I liked it, but I even got just like this tastes like chicken, and it was good. It was good chicken, good sides. Like, I enjoyed it, but I think that, I don't know, because I feel like it's missing with people.
So
I feel like
it's missing in 2 places. One, when we went, they really didn't have a large appetizer menu. Like, I felt like the appetizer choices were very, very minimal. There wasn't anything that was really good because that was what we were originally going to go and do. It was Pam, Steve, and I, and we were going to have just some appetizers, and that was going to be it. But there was like nothing on the appetizer menu that sounded anywhere good. I don't think their dessert menu is very good either. I think where they stand out is mostly their entrees. Yes, there are some unique flavors to them, but I don't think like it's anything that's super. I don't think it's anything that's super exotic. I think that it just sounds exotic, which is kind of the problem. When you are bringing someone who maybe doesn't have like the most worldly palate, you look at the menu and you're like, wait, what is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it can throw you off a little bit. And I know that it threw me off a little bit, but I decided to take the chance and actually try something that, sounded good. And the char siu pork sounded good. Now, you don't know what that is, right? Like, char siu pork, what is that? It was basically like, I know this is kind of putting it in a nutshell, but it was like Asian barbecue pork. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like Asian barbecue sauce on pork. It was delicious. So, but when you hear the name, you don't really get that feeling. You don't really understand what it is. So I think that the naming conventions that they use and how they describe their food may be a little off-putting to people. And I think that might be why it has trouble getting people into it. So
Dennis really nails it in the live chat. He says, we tried Skipper Canteen for the first time this past April. It was good, a unique experience, but wasn't our favorite dining experience of the trip. And I think that's true of a lot of people. Like I've gone there, I think 3 times, and I liked it every time. Like every time I've liked it, but then the next trip, I'm never like, I got to go back.
There's just something that's missing at magic. You know, there's some sort of magic that's missing in it, and to make you go like, yes, that's where I want to go. You know, so many people want to go back to, but then you think about all the restaurants that are at the Magic Kingdom too, and you're like, well, I don't really know if I want to go there. Like you definitely don't want to go to Tony's. So, and you know, the Plaza is just kind of like, I hear the food's good, but like, it's a place that I also don't kind of think about. You know, you've got Crystal Palace, which, you know, is great, but it's expensive. It's a buffet. You've got Liberty Tree Tavern, which is good. I like Liberty Tree Tavern. And then you've got Be Our Guest, which nobody can get into. So, I mean, I feel like it should be a home run because it should. Because the other options at the Magic Kingdom are just like, you know, for the most part, you know, there's a few good choices in there, but overall, it's not super great for table service. So I don't know. It should be better than it is. But there's just, you're right. There's something magic that's missing, and I can't put my finger on what it is.
Yeah, I totally say to give it a shot to Jennifer, because I think especially sitting here at a Disney podcast over lunch, you're gonna like it because there's lots of nuts. Jungle Cruise, the food's fine. It's just for some reason, like I thought this was gonna be. When it was announced concept wise, I was like, this is going to be another Be Our Guest, man. You're never going to get in this place. Like, it's like eating in the Jungle Cruise. But it just, you know, you can always walk in. So,
yeah, that's what we did. We got to walk in.
You're not going to regret it.
No, you won't regret it. Get the char siu pork. It's really good.
It tastes like chicken.
It tastes like pork.
All right, that's going to do it for today's show. Thank you so much for joining us live here in the chat and for the great questions in the inbox. Mike at beourguestpodcast.com, where you can send those our way. Today's show brought to you by our friends at virtualmickey.com, home of great iPhone apps like Theme Park News Disney Edition, because it'd be strange if it was like National Geographic Edition. It would. You know. So, what are we reading about this week, Rikki, on Theme Park News?
So we are reading about the fact that mobile order is now available at more restaurants at the Walt Disney World Resort. So Sasagula Floatworks and Food Factory at Port Orleans French Quarter, the World Premiere Food Court and the End Zone Food Court and the Intermission Food Court at the All-Star Resorts. They are added to the other options at resorts that are currently available, which is Everything Pop, the Mara, and the Contempo Cafe. So yay, there's more options for you to be able to mobile order if you are staying at a Disney Resort Hotel.
Very simple. See, I mean, you can get little nuggets like that right there while you're eating your breakfast in the morning, and like you go to work and you say, guess what? I can mobile order at the All-Stars now. Do you know that? And your coworkers are going to be like, no, I didn't know that. How'd you find that out? Theme Park Disney Edition free app for your iOS device. Get it now over at virtualmickey.com. Also support the show with our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Whatever you're buying, if you're buying toenail clippers or paper towels, or toilet paper. You know,
I like how you went with toenail clippers first, by the way.
I hurt my toe on my run this morning. So
got it.
Kind of hurt right now, so it's top of the mind. Exactly.
Maybe Advil. Advil would be a good option. Ibuprofen.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever it is, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon does help support the show. Follow us on social media. We're on Instagram and Twitter at BeOurGuestPod and at BeOurGuestMike, and of course, Facebook.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. All right, we're going to get out of here, and we're going to be back again on Friday talking about Rikki's adventure with the Force at the AP previews for Galaxy's Edge. We'll be talking all about that, having a good time.
Was the Force with me? You will find out.
We'll see. And we'll talk about much more as well. So thank you so much for dropping in. For Pam and Rikki, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Wednesday, but it's time to head back to work, and we'll see you real soon.
I was able to hold that one off. Yeah.
Before you coughed.
I was able to hold that one off.
It's so weird podcasting in the middle of the day.
I know. I'm sorry.
I wish I was at Podcast Movement now. I knew I should have gone.
That's all right.
If I knew other listeners would have been there, I'd have totally gone.
You get to be here with me instead.
No, but Podcast Movement would have been.
I know. That's awesome. That's really
cool. Next time. It was in Philadelphia last year. I should have totally gone because it was in Orlando this year.
You should have gone. It was in Orlando.
Probably in Texas or something next year. Who knows?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
All right. I got to get back to work.
Okay, me too.
All right. Thanks.
My job. All right.
Hey, Facebook. Hope everybody's having a great Monday. And it's hot in St. Louis. Burning hot. It's raining in Georgia. What's it like in Pittsburgh? Hot. It's probably hot there.
It is hot and humid.
Yeah, the baseball, they were playing ball there this weekend. It was, because I've been watching the League World Series. It looks so hot.
Yeah, it's like that time of year. Like, and it's one of those things like you walk out into your landscaping and you're like, what has happened in the last week and a half? Like, where did all these weeds come from? Like, how they like crop out of nowhere?
Yes.
So, anyways.
Yeah.
And then everything's dying. Like, because we haven't had a ton of rain.
I know we've been watering like crazy, but still.
We don't even water. I'm so cheap. When we moved, we left our old hoses at the old house. I was like, we don't need those. We'll get new ones. But now I'm like, we'll wait till Labor Day because they'll be on sale. So we don't need to have it.
You know what? Hoses don't go on sale. I will tell you that right now. I've been looking for
I thought they went on Labor Day.
No, hoses do not. Hoses never go on sale. I rarely find a hose on sale because I've been looking for a hose and like that, like the thing that you put it in. Those things, absolutely. I've never seen those things on sale because I need one, and I'm like, I really would like one, but I don't want to pay, $50.
Well, not only that, but I think a good hose is more expensive than it should be. Don't you think?
Yes.
There are times when I'm like, is this really the price?
Yes.
I can't believe Rikki knows that hoses never go on sale.
Yes, I've been looking for hoses.
And B, Pam knows that a good hose is overpriced. Like I like when I'm buying a hose, I'm just pretty much gonna go get it. But I was just thinking on Labor Day, like garden stuff would be on sale because the season's over. But
oh my God.
And Steve always wants to buy the one that has a lifetime warranty, which is such a scam because I'm like, then how do we end up getting a new one every year? Like what we have 3 hoses attached around our house, like on the different sides. And each time we replace one, he's like, "Oh, I want to get the one more expensive one because it has a lifetime warranty." I'm like,
I didn't even know hoses had lifetime warranties. I'm not even lying. Like I didn't even know.
There's all kinds of hoses now. There's like flat ones, like they're not even like round. They're like flat hoses, but they fill up. Like when the water shoots through. I don't know, whatever. It's not very exciting, but
we are talking about super exciting stuff here. I don't know.
I do need to get it. I need because our grass is gonna die. But I want the riding lawnmower. I've wanted one since I was like 8. Because like when you're 8, it's like a go-kart.
Yes.
Finally going to get a riding lawnmower.
Oh my God.
You should just look and see how much it is to have someone cut your lawn.
Well, I have, but it'd be way more fun to have a riding lawnmower.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because it's more out here. Because our guy that cut our grass used to live across the street from us at the old house, but he doesn't come this far out. So we had to get a guy, and it was more expensive. So I want to get like a straw hat and a riding lawnmower, dude. And I'll just be in my old man glory.
Oh my gosh!
I
told Steve he does not have time to cut the lawns.
Oh man, my chill time. All right, we have a question about we're not doing questions that actually
sorry.
But we can throw this in because we're talking.
Yes.
Okay, let's get started because Rikki's got to take Brian to the airport.
I do.
And it's raining in Atlanta. Okay, here's the Friday show, everybody. We're not losing it. Here we go. What? The new ramen? Riding a lawnmower? Yes.
Got it.
Okay, let's do this. Okay, so 1528. Welcome to episode 1528 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Thanks for your support over there. We appreciate that so much. We are back. We're going to be talking a little Star Wars Galaxy's Edge as we are inching closer to the opening of this amazing land that was just a dream.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Over at Hollywood Studios, and it is almost go time. I can't wait to see how this goes. After Disneyland, I don't know what's going to happen. So but Rikki was there this past weekend, so we're going to talk about this annual Passholder preview of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. So joining me today, we have Rikki from a DisneyWorldAfterAll.com, touringplans.com, The Mouse for Less, and occasionally Wedway Radio. What's up, Rikki?
I agree with you. We really have no idea what to expect with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge when it officially opens next week. What? Is that right? Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Okay. Yeah, it opens next week, like less than a week from now when this goes live. That's insane to me. We've been talking about this for 4 years, at least, and now it's here. That's crazy.
For the video folks, I'm doing the Carmack.
Yes.
Excessive crowds.
I would assume, but you never know. I mean, you don't.
Oh, we'll see. It's exciting though. When you don't know, it makes it exciting, especially as like, I think we love going to Disney, but 95% of the time we're not there, and it's a spectator sport. So
that's true. Definitely a spectator sport.
I hate to say that, but I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm also joining us. We have Pam Forrester, co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel. Pam, how you doing? Glad to have you back.
I am doing great. I am back from vacation, rested. It was not a Disney vacation. So, that's how it goes sometimes. They can't all be. Had a great time. Sorry, I bent down there and then I'm kind of like this on the
video.
But looking forward to coming back. I'm going to get to be at the media preview of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opening. I know. I'm really looking forward to it. We got our schedule. It's tentative. We'll be there at night. So there'll be lots of great pictures coming out of there from the night thing. And we'll see what the kind of things that they have for us to do. I'm really excited about that. So, I'm a big Star Wars fan, but I really wanted to wait till the preview to go and see it. So we'll be there and we'll check it out.
So all right, this isn't going to be spoilers for you. I'm sorry if it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we got to watch it. Yeah, there will be spoilers today. If you don't want them, just skip the show and join us again on Monday. But we're going to give you some information to help you have a better experience as you go down there here in the months to come. And I'm actually skipping the AP preview. Actually, it's already gone by the time this show comes out. I made the call. I want to go down and see Illuminations one last time.
I knew you would.
Gondolas. I mean, it's just like there's just more bang for your buck there. As much as I love Star Wars, it'll still be there.
That's true.
And you were there. Pam's going to be there. It's covered for the show, so
That's right. Yeah,
we're going to make that call and do that. So anyway, Rikki was there this past weekend, drove down. I was watching your progress on Find My Friends as you made it down to Walt Disney World. I love that because I have all my friends and I know where they are. And it's kind of cool when you're heading to Disney. It's like, I wish I was going, but hey, Jasper Florida.
Stalking me on Find My Friends. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, we have about 30 minutes. So walk us through what you experienced.
Yeah. So I got to go to the annual Passholder preview and it was actually really cool. I've done Passholder previews before for Pandora, so it was interesting to kind of compare how this preview went. When they were letting us in, they were basically like you had a time, but they pretty much, I don't know if it changed throughout the rest of the week, but when I went on the Saturday, they were letting us in. Like it didn't matter what your time was. They just said, yep, go right on in. So I got the heads up from somebody that it was open. And so I was like, all right, let's go. So my time was originally 1 to 5. And I think I went in maybe like 11:45, 12 o'clock. So they let me right in. And it was super easy to get in, no wristbands. So they also weren't watching your time on how long you were in the land. So they weren't kicking you out if you were, past your time. Although they did kick us out the day that we did our preview because they had a special event that evening. But as far as I know, like once you get in the land with the preview, you were good to go, which I was really surprised about. I thought they were going to be super strict about, nope, this is your time. You can't get in before. You have to leave when they tell you, but they seemed pretty loosey-goosey about the whole thing. So that was my first real surprise about the whole process.
So the check-in though was very smooth, and then did they walk you back to the entrance to the land, or you just found it yourself, went to the entrance to land? Hey, you're good to go. You got an email here. Let's go.
Nope. So you had your email. You had to either show it to the cast member or have it printed out. You went right into the front, right where the archway is, that they've built over by Grand Avenue, Muppets, that kind of thing. So there was a bunch of grass or trees that they have put up, as blocking everything. But for those of us who had the Passholder preview, we just went right around the trees and went right on in. So that was pretty much it. I mean, it wasn't hard at all. And they were just like, yep, go on in. It's all good. So
the feedback I've been getting when I've been talking to folks this week about, Friday show is going to be about Galaxy's Edge, because a lot of our listeners are going to these AP previews, and you got to one of the first ones where we're going to go, throughout the week. And the feedback I got a lot when I said Rikki's going to talk about this on Friday's show was they wanted to hear your perspective because you enjoy Star Wars. You like Star Wars. You're not somebody who's like, you're not like diehard Star Wars, so that would be a different perspective than you're going to get in a lot of podcasts and a lot of blogs and so forth, because a lot of folks are just
diehard.
Yeah, exactly. So you get there, you're walking into the land. So first impression from somebody that's semi-casual on Star Wars.
So I have to say, I actually very much enjoyed the land. I think that it, in a way, because I'm not a Star Wars fanatic, I actually think it helped me. I did not have preconceived notions of what to expect. Because I'm not a Star Wars fanatic, I'm not disappointed that it takes place in between 8 and 9, which is when the story of Batuu and Galaxy's Edge is set right now. So that didn't, I'm not disappointed that there's no Darth Vader or anything like that. Like I didn't grow up on any of that. So I went in there and I had no preconceived notions. And I really do think that helped me enjoy the land a lot better than some other people may or may not be enjoying the land, just because like I really have, I have no preconceived notions. I don't have any skin in the game. I just enjoyed the land for what it was. And I think that absolutely was a big plus in my favor. So
yes.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you one more question. I want Pam to ask some questions because she has a little bit more experience than I do with the land, and she's going to have even more as the week goes on. What the size and scale of the land? Because Toy Story Land I love Toy Story Land. That's the newest land I've been in currently, and it's a good size for what it is. Slinky Dog is just the right size to me. Alien Swirling Saucers fits perfectly over in that corner. Woody's Lunchbox, takes up an appropriate amount of space. And you got the new entrance Toy Story. I think it's well laid out. So did it seem grand? Did it seem quaint? Did it seem just right, comfortable? What'd you think on like the size and scale?
I think comfortable is the correct word. It definitely. So I feel like Toy Story Land, you feel a little boxed in, because it's really just that one strip, that one corridor for people to go on. It feels a little more like Pandora in that sense of like you have wandering pathways that you can go through. You can kind of explore. They have so you walk in, and where I walked in, like I said, it was right by the Grand Avenue entrance. And right by that entrance is actually where you walk in a little bit. And like I said, it feels a lot like Pandora when you walk through. I mean, when you walk right in, you've got the forest kind of all around a little bit and stuff like that. But you walk in, and that's right where the Rise of Resistance attraction is going to be. So that area wasn't, because Rise of the Resistance isn't open yet. That area right there was not super busy. So it was kind of a not dead area, but it didn't have as much life to it because people weren't necessarily going that way. There was no real reason to go that way. But as you walked along, you meandered through the path. There's obviously giant ships. I don't know what kind of ships. I apologize, not being a Star Wars fan. I might have been an X-wing. It might have been something else. I think it was an X-wing. So you've got a ship right there. As I walked in, I saw Ray and Chewie. They were working on the ship and trying to figure out how to get the thing to go, why it was crashed or whatever. And you walk in more, and you've got like two different pathways that you can choose from. So you've got the pathway that leads you into the marketplace, and then you've got the pathway that leads you around and into kind of more of the Resistance area. And the marketplace definitely feels, I mean, it really does feel like they went to Morocco, and I know that's what they did. Like, it feels like the Morocco Pavilion in a lot of ways because, it's got the meandering feel to it. You walk along. There are shops and stalls as you walk through on the sides there. That's where you'll find Sokka's popcorn. That's where you'll find, like, as you continue along that pathway, there's all the different shop, like the Toydarian shop, and like none of the not problem, but the thing is like none of the shops are labeled. So you don't really like it kind of just feels like you're going in and out of a marketplace, So like they're not labeled as to what they are. They're very. It does follow the Harry Potter method of, they're not very deep. They're very small. They're very quaint shops that you go in and out, but you're kind of weaving in and out of them. So it feels okay. It really does feel like you're in this bazaar, this marketplace, which is a really cool experience. And then as you walk, if you go the other way, I think that if I remember correctly, that was the way to get to the Savi's workshop, which again, that's the hardest thing I had to find was Savi's workshop because it is definitely not labeled, which of course is part of the story. They don't want it labeled because you're there as scrappers. You're building. Yep. You're not building lightsabers. You're putting scrap metal together and making a lightsaber. And then. So because of that, that was actually the hardest thing for me to find. I actually had to ask cast members because I was like, I don't know where it is because I needed, and I'll talk about this in a minute, thanks to the Positano family who graciously invited me in with them to build a lightsaber. But I had to figure out where it was and I was like, I can't find it. So you'll definitely have difficulties finding that if you have to build a lightsaber. Then there's the droid workshop again. That's, the droid depot that's right next door to that. And again, no like no labels of what it is. The doors are all like sliding doors, and they don't necessarily look like doors. Some things look like doors, and some things like look like they're just, sets. So kind of hard to tell what's a set and what's an actual door. So you kind of have to go up to things and see, do you open? Do you not? That kind of thing. And then as you walk around, like you go past the droid depot, and then you go around, and then you go to the resistance section. And then that's where you'll have what's the resistance? Or that's not the resistance, the first order. That's where you go to the first order section. What's the first order ship? The big black thing that I don't know.
Yeah, it's just one of the.
It's one of those big black ships. I don't know. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm a bad Star Wars.
Like a destroyer.
Yeah, it might be a destroyer. Yeah, they have.
It kind of looks like a modified TIE fighter.
Yeah, TIE fighter, that kind of thing. Yeah, so they have that. The milk stand is right there. And they have another shop, a first order shop, for you to buy any of your, stiff merchandise that you want or whatever you want there. You'll continue along the path, and that's where you get to Oga's Cantina. That one at least is labeled. It does say Cantina, so at least you can figure that one out. Or you'll see all the people standing in line. So there's that. And then they have this. It's the perfect reveal. It's like you walk under the train station and it's end of the Magic Kingdom, and then you see just in all of its glory the Millennium Falcon, and so that's where the Millennium Falcon attraction is. And as you continue along the path, you'll get to Docking Bay 7, which is the quick service restaurant, and then you hit Ronto Roaster, and then that's where the marketplace kind of connects. So it's a kind of a giant circle in a way, that Black Spire outpost section. It's all kind of a giant circle that goes around. And yeah, that's kind of the land. That's basically that. And the best thing I can do is suggestion wise is walk around the land first. Get your lay of the land so you really kind of understand where things are. Because that's what helped me the most, was trying to figure out where because like I said, things aren't labeled in the land. You have to, unless you read Arabash, which I obviously don't, or you download the My Disney Experience app and you use the data pad and use that to try to figure out what things are. Really getting the lay of the land and figuring out where things are in it is probably going to be the best way for you to enjoy the land the most, I think. So anyway, I completely went through the land. I'm sorry, but
I'm going to let Pam jump in here, but I just want to say one thing about the comment you just made about that. I love that there is discovery in this land, that it's not all labeled, and that it almost like because I haven't been in the land yet, and I'm kind of excited because it gives me perspective as to what you were saying. I followed you on Instagram and all the posts on the Facebook page, so go back and check that out. Be Our Guest Pod on Instagram and the Facebook page. But the thing is, with the stuff not being labeled, and things may be a door, maybe not be a door, small stalls in like a bizarre setting. Like I've seen that in the prequels. I've seen that in, Tatooine. I've seen that in the post, original trilogy, 7 and 8. And I've wanted to explore those lands, and if I was dropped in those lands, I wouldn't expect there to be labels or for me to know what's going on. So it almost does. Disney does that so well. It brings you into the story where there is discovery. And when you find something, it's kind of like, that's pretty sweet. So
yes, it's definitely
it's kind of a struggle, but I'm glad it's a struggle because there's kind of a reward in finding it. You feel like, hey, that's
absolutely, which is, I know frustrating for, some people, but for me, it was, like I said, it was really cool to just explore the entire land, and really see where the bits and pieces of the land were, things that I'd obviously heard of. And I was like, okay, now I can put, the name with this, and this is the location that it's in. And that, again, all that really helped me. And like I said, exploring the land, I think, is going to be key in your enjoyment of, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at first. So,
all right, I'll pass it off to Pam. So what are the questions or comments you have for Rikki? We have about 20 minutes. So much to talk about in this land. We only have
I know, right? I'm really glad that you liked it, because in everything that I was told leading up to it and being there, they said you do not need to know the stories to enjoy this land. And I think, that's part of the deal, that, I think that people are going to want to see this, whether they liked it or not. And like Pandora, you were saying it was like Pandora. I love that there was that comparison, because I don't particularly love the Avatar movie. I mean, it's fine. I could really take it or leave it. Sorry, James Cameron.
I think we all could take it or leave it. Trust me.
There were parts of the story that were interesting, and then but it was so long. But you know what I mean? Yeah. That like that. But I actually love Pandora. Mm-hmm. I truly do. I think it's extraordinary at night. I think that there are so many things that they did right. The Imagineers did right. But what do you think that people who do know the story are going to take away from it? Like, what do you think they are really going to be excited about?
I mean, I think that they're going to be excited about the details because there are so many things that are in the land that obviously I don't know what they are necessarily, but they're things that you've seen in the movie. Like I've been following along with a few people who, know Star Wars, and I've seen, this is, a vehicle from this movie. And, for me, like, I don't know what movie it is. I couldn't tell you just by looking at it, but they can see, I remember seeing that vehicle in said movie. Or there are these boxes or something like that are throughout the land that I think have been in another movie, that kind of thing. So really taking the details and finding those and really exploring the land in that way. You've got the creature that's in the water fountain that lives in the water fountain that I know is in another film. It's the big giant eye.
That's the original Star Wars. That's the dude that gets Luke and sucks him down into the trash.
See, I got nothing. For me, I don't
nightmares when I was a kid. I mean, nightmares.
Yeah, see, for me, I don't know what that is. But for you, like, again, you have the connection to it, so you know what it is. And like, yeah, exactly. You get something else out of it that I don't, which is good. I enjoyed it for what it was, whereas you'll be like, yeah, that thing scared the ever-loving daylight out of me.
The thing that gave me nightmares when I was 7 is going to come to get me in Galaxy Edge. Nice.
Exactly. So I think that, Pam, to answer your question, I think that's what Star Wars fans are really going to enjoy. Now, I know, like, if you love the 4 through 6, I get where people who love 4 through 6 are a little disappointed in the land because it doesn't follow really any of that. Like, there's no Darth Vader. That Darth Vader's dead. So like, there's no spoiler. Sorry. If you didn't know that by now, like. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're in the
No, I don't.
Series.
I don't get disappointed by stuff like that.
I
just really don't. I mean, I think that's where people will get disappointed and maybe probably get disappointed about other things in their life. Yeah. If you go into it with expectations and you can't,
and I went in with zero expectation
from that expectation, then it's challenging because somebody else isn't inside your head. They can't be. I think you do have to go in with it with the whole like, okay, I'm just going to go in, experience it for what it is, and see if I can come away from it with something that I like or appreciate or enjoy about it. And I think if you do that, then you'll be a little bit happier. But I'm more focused on being happy than some.
Me too.
But I mean, I'm excited though because I think that like Disney does it so well in every land. I mean, it can be as detailed, and you can find things that if you know things, you find things that other people are just going to walk right past and never know, which I like.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So.
Okay, so we got to get on the brass tacks.
We're okay. I promise. We're okay.
And we're going to be talking about this for the next, forever because Lane's going to stay here. Yeah. But everyone wants to know about the lightsaber. You had a great picture on Instagram. And I swear, I was like, dude, $200, dude. I'm getting a riding lawnmower from a new house. I'm not even going to spend it on a lightsaber. That's like a fifth of a lawnmower. No way. And then I saw the picture, dude, and it was like glowing against your skin. Like your face was like glowing, just like Luke Skywalker. And, in episode 4, I'm like, oh my God, I got to go get another job. The picture was awesome. There were 2 people, you and somebody else had a lightsaber. I was like, oh my God, that looks so real. I got to get one. So walk us through what that experience was like, because everyone wants to know about the lightsabers.
Okay, so again, I have to thank the Positano family. They are so wonderful and invited me to do the lightsaber experience with them. And matter of fact, they actually let me build the lightsaber. Like, they didn't care what I did. So I was like, are you sure? You you don't care what I picked out the color. So I am a Sith, apparently.
Yes.
Yes, of course, we all do that. I picked out the handle, like what it looked like, the design of it, like all of that. Like I got to pick it out. So I'm so grateful for them that they trusted me enough to like do this. And they let me build it. They thankfully filmed it. There will be a video that's posted of me doing the whole lightsaber experience. I am not great at it. You will see me completely flub it up a number of times because I'm trying to screw the lightsaber together. And I'm like, I don't get it. I had the thing on backwards, you know, as one does who doesn't know how to build a lightsaber. So, but the experience itself, yes, it's $200. Yes, it is a lot of money. And no, I still can't justify spending $200 on a lightsaber. But
it's so cool, man. I'm ready to drop 200.
Right. That is where the person who has a connection to Star Wars should be excited about it, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
I will walk down my street with that thing after dark just because I can.
So if you are so excited about building a lightsaber, you will absolutely enjoy this. I enjoyed the experience, and I don't even have a lightsaber to take home. Although bless you. Sorry if you heard Brian sneezing.
Good night.
So anyway, I am so like this experience was just far and away really cool for $200. Sorry. So for $200, this was absolutely so cool. Like I said, I got to experience building lightsaber. They give you the pieces. You pick out which pieces you want. You pick out the Kyber crystal that you want. You put it all together. And then the reveal of your actual lightsaber when it's finished and how they do it. And I don't want to give it away because it's really cool. But the reveal of how it actually happens. And I have to say, this is a show. Like you are going in to experience a show. What they do, the cast member who plays one of the main gatherers, she was phenomenal. She really made you feel, like you were really building a lightsaber. This show was absolutely a great experience. Like I said, I have video. It'll go up on the mouse for us. So I hope to get that video worked out this week. Hopefully I'll get it up this week for everyone to see what the lightsaber experience was actually like if you want to be spoiled by it, because it was absolutely the coolest experience. And like I said, that is a hefty lightsaber when you are done with it. So for $200, you are getting something that's extremely hefty, very well done, very well made. I can't justify $200, but if you can, that's super awesome. And like I said, it's such a cool, you're paying for the experience too. And it's such a cool experience. Now the experience lasts about 15 minutes. So just know that. It was a really cool experience though.
So it's like an individual experience because what I'm picturing all this time leading up to this until I started putting two and two together in my head was that it was kind of like this, how, like at the old, Once Upon a Toy Store, Disney Springs, everybody's around all the junk and everybody's just putting them together, taking them apart and all that. No, this is like you go in and it's like you said, it's not just buying a lightsaber, it's the experience. It's an individual thing.
Correct. Yes. It's you and one guest who get to go in and do this experience. And so just know that, which is kind of a disappointment. I know, like, especially if in this situation, the reason why they bought two lightsabers was because they both the adults wanted to be in with their daughter to see the experience of building a lightsaber. And the only way to be able to do that was they had to buy two of them, which, again, I thank you so much. That was so unexpected. So I can't thank them enough.
I was worried they're going to say, so you could build one. I'm like, no.
No, it wasn't that. But, they wanted to say, so if you are like a family of three, like somebody either has to wait outside or you got to, build another lightsaber. So
they don't let you go in to watch your kid build one.
They will only let one person go in. I don't know how it works. I've had the question posed to me of, well, what happens if you have two kids and just one adult? Do you have to send both kids in? I mean, I don't know. That seems rather irresponsible, to just send your two kids in to go build a lightsaber. So I'm not entirely sure of how that process works. If it's because the area that they have you build in I can see where if you had two kids and one adult, like you could fit three people in, but I don't know if they'll let you in that instance. And I didn't ask and I apologize. I should have. But yeah, for the most part, it's one person with one builder. So yeah.
Okay. So we'll get off lightsabers because we got to talk food and drink.
Yes.
That's the other thing everyone's so about, but are they fragile? I mean, can you swing them?
I wouldn't necessarily like whack anybody with it real good.
I would at least like tap, like
you can tap. It's like a heavy duty plastic that the actual lightsaber,
so
like the blade is. It's not glass. No, it's more like a heavy duty plastic.
So good though. That thing, it was like you were glowing, like you were in the movie. Like when I saw that, I'm like, oh, like it looked like Kylo Ren, like when they're having that battle with Rey in the snow.
Yes.
Like, how they just light up when they have the lightsaber. I was like, oh, like I don't know if that's just the lights in the room, but take my 200. I've been saying forever. I'm not doing it. I've said this many times.
And like I said, the video will be even better because like now you'll really be like, take my $200, please.
Does it hum? Does it hum?
Yeah. Oh! And it makes noise when you like move it. Yeah.
Oh God, I hate you, Disney. I got you. Okay, so food and drink. Talk us about that because I'm going to want that too.
All right, so we did eat at Docking Bay 7, and I have to say this was my kind of biggest disappointment in the entire land. I was not super impressed with Docking Bay 7, and you know me, like I enjoy food a lot. We got the kudu rib, I don't know what it is, so it was ribs, and so I got that. The ribs were served with a blueberry cornbread muffin and some sort of vegetables that were, I don't know if they were onions or cabbage. They were in like a vinegar. They were very acidic flavored. So there wasn't a lot of heft in my meal. My ribs were very dry. I should have just taken them back and asked for another set of ribs because these were just not good. The blueberry cornbread muffin was fantastic though, and I don't even like blueberries, so I enjoyed the muffin. But the ribs were not great. I also got we got the tip yip, the fried tip yip, which is chicken. For those who don't know, and it's served on a bed of mashed potatoes with vegetables in it. So like it's got peas and carrots mixed into the mashed potatoes. And then it is served with a vegetable gravy. Yes, your gravy is green. So just keep that in mind. The chicken was good. I very much enjoyed the chicken. I enjoyed the mashed potatoes. I thought they were good. My disappointment here is you only get, it's basically one fried chicken cutlet. Like it's like a little bit bigger of a chicken tender, and you only get one. And I think it was like $16 for that. And it was like $18 for my ribs. And the portion sizes are just not big. I mean, they are real for your money. I mean, seriously, I say go somewhere else. Go at Hollywood Studios. Like seriously, if you want to like go to a table service meal and like you're going to get more food and it's going to be just a little bit more money because for the money, it was way not worth it. I actually left hungry. I left starving. And that tells you like I went in there hungry and I left hungry. So that was my biggest disappointment. Now Georgia, who Pam and Jocelyn and I know, I ran into him there, and him and his wife, actually, I got to try her tip yip salad. That was actually really good. I did enjoy that, what I tasted of it. Georgia got the pot roast, which was also very good. It's served on like a bed of noodles, though. Again, an odd choice, but you're on a different planet. But the pot roast was really good. But again, I just feel like for the money, it's a lot of money for what you're buying. So, and like I said, I left hungry. So, yikes.
Interesting. So, Pam, what are your thoughts on what you've seen and what Rikki has said? I mean, because of course they're going to be, this is still a preview at this point, and they're going to hopefully hear this feedback. I mean, they do monitor things and they're always, asking guests what they think as they leave a land and leave a park. So what are your thoughts on this?
I think the first month or two for any restaurant is challenging.
Yeah.
No matter how long they preview and how long they test it before they let any guest try it, it just is. And this goes for whether it's a quick service restaurant or like a sit down, more signature type restaurant. It just really is. And before, hopefully they'll get to a point that like Satuli is, that they'll find its stride and, do something like that. They may need to make some changes, but that's the one thing that Disney is really good at. Mm-hmm. They survey, they ask for feedback, and then they make changes based on that, which is something I think that they do pretty much better than any other company out there. They just do. They're able to adapt. They're not locked into things. So the things about Disney that are frustrating to some people people that they're like, oh my gosh, they're always changing something or whatever, are absolutely the things that make them a good company. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to trying some of the things that are just exclusive to that land. You just felt like on some level, some of the food that's being served there has to be exclusive to the land. And I love that the names and stuff that they're coming up with.
Yeah.
So I mean that people will like balk at that too, like tip yip, what's that? You know what I mean? But hopefully, you know, it'll hit its stride and find a little something that, you know, they like.
And that's kind of my you know, thoughts of, that's kind of why I'm sharing the feedback, is because I feel like they're close, they're just not quite there yet. And like I said, the portion size versus what you get is really my biggest knock on things, is that, you know, especially because they're charging a premium because it is Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. I mean, I get that, but you know, portion size did not reflect the amount of money that I spent, and that was kind of my disappointment with it. So yeah.
To me, with something like that, that's something that you don't want the guests to leave with, you know, any kind of negative feeling, you know, and that's something that is so easily fixed, you know, portion size, because it's not going to cost them that much more to put like a second cutlet on there, you know, in the overall scheme of things. And then the guest satisfaction goes up, and, you know, everybody wins in that case. So, you know, I'd rather hear that than say, oh my gosh. Okay, so we haven't talked Smugglers Run. So you were the pilot, because I want to talk that in Blue Milk. We got about 8 or 10 minutes left. So get into the show.
Okay, so I got to do Smugglers Run, and I was lucky enough to be able to be the pilot. So there are obviously the 3 different positions. There's the pilot, the engineer, and I'm forgetting the last one. Went out of my head, but anyway, there's 3 different positions. I actually got
gunner, I think is what it is.
Yes, gunner. That's it. So I got to be on the right side, which is the one that takes you to light speed. So that was really cool. It is definitely mission space plus. So you really go in the attraction. I mean, you walk in and you really do feel like you're in the Millennium Falcon. They did a fantastic job with making you walk in, you see the holochess table, and then, you know, there's all the different buttons and stuff like that you can push. In the preview, and I think that I heard at Disneyland as well right now, like, you don't spend a whole lot of time in this area, so they are getting you moving pretty good. And the only thing is I will say it is a little difficult for them to hear them call your boarding card. So there are different colors based off of what you know, boarding you know, which pod you're going to end up going into. So I did find that it was a little difficult to hear, you know, them calling our group, because there's about, I want to say there was maybe 2 or 3 groups in with us, you know. So you go in and you sit down, and, you know, there's the positions in the back, or, you know, kind of button pushers, and then but in the front, like, as a pilot, like, I mean, it was real, you know, for me, because like I didn't have anything distracting me from behind. You know, I was actually looking at the screen. It was so cool. It does depend on what you're doing. Matter of fact, because Brian was the other pilot, and he was supposed to go left and right, and he didn't understand that he thought he was waiting for, you know, kind of like Mission Space, the light to pop up, and, you know, for, you know, it to tell you, hey, you need to do this action, and you really have to kind of listen as you know, to Hondo as you're going to figure out what you're doing if you're in those positions, because you know, what you do, like, he was not veering right. We were supposed to follow a train, and he was not veering right, and Hondo's yelling at him, veer right, veer towards the train, and I'm like, Brian, you veer towards the train. So I mean, it's
kind of like your whole ride down to Florida together in the car.
Exactly. So it took a few minutes to a few seconds for us to figure out, hey, no, what you do actually does, you know, especially for him who's not, you know, privy to kind of all the Disney nerddom that I am. You know, he knows a lot, but not as much as I do. So like, I knew that he had to steer and you know, what he did was important. But for someone who maybe doesn't know that and think, oh, the button's going to light up and that's going to be my notification of, hey, I need to do this. It doesn't do that. You really kind of have to listen to the cues that are coming, you know, through the audio. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So it was cool though. I enjoyed it a lot. So
because we gave enough there. I don't want to give too much. So
yeah, although our ship did not fare well, we did have some lights and stuff flickering at the end.
The Falcon usually doesn't fare very well in most of its journeys. It usually. Did you get to make the jump to light speed?
I did. I'm the one who made the jump to light speed, which was so cool.
It's like everybody's dream. That's so cool.
But you said it was like Mission Space, but it's not. Doesn't make you nauseous like Mission.
I mean, I don't get nauseous on Mission Space. I don't ride the orange version though. So I do the green version of Mission Space, and no, I mean it didn't make me nauseous. But I don't get nauseous on like simulator attractions either. So I don't. Your mileage may vary.
I haven't heard people say.
I haven't either. So
that they
in real time. So I don't know if that helps. With the nauseous, feeling, because what you're doing is reflected on the screen. So I don't know if that helps, but yeah, I don't know. So
a couple things from live chat. Sarah asked, "Did you say Chewie were home?"
I didn't. I'm sorry. I fail at life. My bad.
And Joe just got back within the hour or so. He was there for preview, actually, the day we're recording, because he was emailing me this morning from the land. And he said he got stuck with kids twice that were no good at piloting or shooting. So
yeah. So if you get stuck with people who are not good, I can see where you would get frustrated. And, you don't want to yell at people that are not, with you. But like you kind of need to, like, there's really no time to like get to know the people that you're traveling with, because you're not able to connect with them. So like you can't really yell at them like, "Hey, do this." I could yell at Brian.
No, Brian, that's poor Brian. I mean, I'm sure he got the brunt of everything.
Yeah,
right. Let's go.
So let's go. But like if you're there with strangers, I can see where it would be a little more difficult because you can't yell at them. So
all right, last thing, because we're just about out of time. We're just kind of, we just want to touch on it, give everybody just a little taste of it. We don't want to spoil things. Everybody's gonna be heading down very soon. It's gonna be open this week.
I know it's opening in a week. Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so last thing, I was shocked because you tried the blue milk. You said you wouldn't have the whole thing. But I think your quote on Instagram was you didn't hate it, which I did not. Thought you would hate it. So
no, I didn't.
What was that experience like?
So thanks to Mrs. Georgia, she let me try the blue milk that she got, because I was not about to buy blue milk and then hate it and then waste $8 of blue milk. It is a very small glass, I will say, but for your $8, you definitely get more butterbeer at the Wizarding World.
Stop.
But, yeah. I just had to throw that in, by the way, because this is the butterbeer of this is the butterbeer of Batu. But I did not try the green milk because I don't like citrus flavors. But I did try the blue milk. It has kind of a coconutty flavor to it with a little bit of fruit to it. I didn't hate it, which is good. I definitely wouldn't drink a lot of it though. I feel like a few sips was good. I feel like if you got it for your family and y'all kind of like split it amongst yourselves, I feel like that's a good, unless you really, really like blue milk after you've had one, then go back and get another one. But like, I feel like that first sip of it to make sure you like it or whatever should be, split amongst people instead of, just hey, I'm going all in, like you would a butterbeer. I'm just saying. So
Wrigley Ann Bellows in the live chat says hashtag team blue milk. Green is gross. So
yes, I didn't agree. And that's what I've heard.
Here's my theory though about why I think it's good that you don't just guzzle the thing down, because I mean, think about it. You got to walk around the land with like blue milk in your hand and just sip on it because you want people to see you. We're in an Instagram society. It's all for the gram. So you got to have a blue milk in your hand. I mean, in the lightsaber in the other, you're ready for anything.
Absolutely. But for those who ask, it's not really made of milk. It is a plant-based beverage. So it's not going to make you feel like milk was a bad choice. I'm just
you're like a dairy connoisseur. You love your milk.
I am. I would drink milk in the middle of summer, and you guys have seen me drink milk in the middle of summer.
You're having milk with supper. I'm like, come on, we're on a cruise. You're going to have a big old glass of white milk, and it's like
all good. It's all good. I'm fine with that, but not a lot of people are. So milk was not a bad choice in this situation, I will say.
All right. Well, we're going to leave it at that. It's been about 40 minutes, so we want to cut it short. But it sounds like just final thoughts, because you got to preview it. Of course, it's going to be going live to the general public. We don't know what's going to happen. I'm excited to see what happens because we really don't know. But, just a couple of thoughts on the land.
I really think they did a good job. I know we've heard a lot of, Twitter conversations or Facebook conversations about the land overall and everything like that. And I have to say, again, I very much enjoyed the land, especially as a non-Star Wars fan. I found it to be quite fantastic. It was very enjoyable to experience. I enjoyed all the details that they put in there, even the ones that I didn't understand. And all I have to say is, man, I can't wait for Rise of the Resistance, because that is going to be just the cherry on top of the sundae, I feel like. So yeah, but definitely, even if you're not a Star Wars fan, go into the land, experience Galaxy's Edge. I promise you won't regret it.
Oh, I can't wait now. Well, this is costing me so much money.
I'm sorry.
This has cost me so much money in like 11 years, but it's been fun. It's like, the thing is, I'm going to get like, I've now like been a toy in Toy Story Land.
Yes.
And I've been in the Avatar movies, even though I haven't seen Avatar, but I love, like Tim said, I love Pandora. It's amazing. It's an amazing environment to get to experience. Now I'm going to get because Star Wars is my favorite all-time franchise. I mean, like every 45-year-old dude like me has wanted to be like Luke or Han, or, if you're a little bit hairy, Chewie, I don't know. So it's going to be fun to get to go in that environment. You have me pumped. Like those pictures from the weekend and just the show today. Oh, and it's
good.
Jeff.
And that's kind of what I wanted, I want to do is get people excited for the land. Because I feel like I said, there's been a lot of naysaying about the land, and it's a really cool land. I mean, it really is. And I'm not just pixie dusting. Like I'd be real. Look, I was real about Docking Bay 7. So like, I would be real about my actual thoughts. I actually enjoyed the land. So, you're going to enjoy it. I know you are. I think you are, and I go.
Because I'm smiling.
I know you are. Yeah, exactly. Go to Galaxy's Edge. I promise you will, you'll not regret at least experiencing the land. So, yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for today's show. And I know you're excited, and go out there and get that second job so you can buy those lightsabers.
Exactly. As Jeff is saying in his hashtag most expensive day ever, dude, for them, it really was the most expensive day ever. Cause like I kept running into them all around the land and they were like, we bought this, we bought this, we bought this. And I'm like, wow, you're dropping a lot of money. So yeah.
They had a droid following them home. Yes. They didn't find the droids. There's more stuff. So we'll talk about that as the weeks and months unfold. But hope you enjoyed today's show. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Don't forget today's episode. It's a Friday, brought to you by the great agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. And you got to go to bed too. You know what? And back on Star Tours, it was like a travel agency and the attraction, that would take you to all these places. You know what? That's the Magic for Less Travel. We'll get you to bed too on either coast. What? If you want to wait and hold off until Rise of the Resistance comes online December, January on the coast, we can do that. But you know what? After today's show, you're already looking on southwest.com and checking out the flights.
Absolutely.
And there's still stuff available.
Yeah, exactly. I've been seeing it.
If you want to go for opening, you can. If you want to go for soon after and into the fall, you can. So that's awesome.
Even with discounts in the fall too.
I know, it's crazy.
So there you go. So drop by the magicforless.com, check out all the great specials. And while you're there, fill out that free no obligation quote form, put in some dates. We'll get back to you, tell you what's available at each resort, for your dates and so forth. And you can get down there and be one of the first to run in your neighborhood at night with a lightsaber. Just
there you go.
When you get pulled over by the sheriff, you're like, it's not lethal. It's it's just in the right hands. So just have your story straight and don't mention the Magic for Less when all that happens. Once you get there, you're out of our hands. Whatever you do with your lightsaber is up to you. Anyway, magicforless.com, weird ad. Don't forget, we have our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Please use that anytime you shop online. And give us a follow on the social and check out all the great stuff Rikki posted over the weekend. Last weekend, it's over on Instagram and Twitter at Be Our Guest Pod, and of course on the Facebook page at facebook.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. And give me a follow as well, Be Our Guest Mike on Instagram and Twitter. All right, time to get out of here. We'll be back again on Monday with another great trip report. But until then, y'all have fun and stay safe. For Rikki and Pam, I'm Mike. Wishing you a great weekend. Stay safe, whatever you do out there, and we'll see you real soon. All righty, let's go. You did a great job, Rikki, of really, I'm so pumped, and you didn't give away too much, which is
good. I was trying not to give away a lot, but there's so much to the land, and I spent 6 hours, I want to say, in the land overall ish, and I was happy spending 6 hours. I could have spent more time in the land for sure, but I spent 6 hours and I enjoyed myself. So yeah, I did, and You'll love it. I know you will. So both you and Pam, given that you guys actually are Star Wars fans, are gonna love this land. So yeah.
Oh, good. I love that people are saying this is what everything that I've read, it will not make me nauseous.
No, I don't think it will. Honestly,
Star Tours does though.
I cannot do.
I can't do Star Tours, but I've heard so many people say that, Mike, that we're able to ride this.
I hope
dude, if I have to hold a bag in my lap, I'm gonna do it at least once.
Yeah.
I know I am too.
I hope you guys are okay. Like it should be okay. But like I'm a terrible judge of that because I really don't get nauseous. Hey Brian, you get nauseous on things, right?
He's your husband. What do you not know? You've been married for like 14 years.
I know. Did you get nauseous on mission space? Did you get nauseous
on medium for the first time?
Did you get nauseous on Millennium Falcon?
What's your middle name too, Brian?
Yeah, what's your middle name? And Brian said he did not get nauseous on the Millennium Falcon. So and he does get nauseous.
Because he was getting yelled at the whole time. He couldn't do that.
He was like, oh my gosh.
I only yelled at him.
You're like my grandparents.
Yes. I was like, go right.
Poor Brian. Tell him where's he headed?
Chicago. Yes.
Or something. I said, let's go to Chicago. All right. Well, tell him to have a safe flight.
All right.
See you.
See you guys.
See you guys. Bye.